I know, Salem. But you simply can't have expected me to like that one. They were such a brute. All beefy arms and no sense. Expecting them to eventually learn the difference between a salad fork and a dessert fork is like expecting a pig to critique caviar. And they were ugly. I am not being picky. You're just bad at screening candidates. Every single one you've brought in today is either too brawny, too untrustworthy, too unstable, or, again, too ugly. No. That other one was cunning and decent looking, sure. But he was uncommonly socially inept. I refuse to be the prince at the Citadel with a reputation for surrounding himself with maladjusted recluses. Could you imagine the gossip? And that small little detail about him being half demon spawn and that he subsists exclusively off the souls of young children. But I mean, really, Salem, my reputation is on the line. My reputation. Yes, true. That one was fine, I suppose. I said she was mean to me. She laughed at my shoes, then commented that my crown was lopsided and the wrong size. She said its circumference befitted someone whose thoughts required more room. You know what? It doesn't matter why the others were turned away, only that they were. None of them were up to my standards, and I'll stay here all day if I have to, until we find the right one. That's right, Salem. All day. No amount of eye-rolling or snide remarks will change that. Maybe I'll even lounge around for the rest of the afternoon just to spite you. Oh, this argument grows tiresome, Salem. Choosing the right one is as much intuition as it is logic. You know my instincts never lead us astray. I'll know it when I know it, and until then I can huff and complain and bemoan however much I want. So just send in the next fool, if you please. Ah, now this one might just do. Bravo, Salem. You finally brought me one that doesn't look like they've been pulled straight from the brawling pits. Well, you finally got me one that looks like they're actually winning, at least. What a refreshing change of pace from all the other barbarians. Hello there. You certainly aren't like the rest, are you? You do smell like the rest, though. And you curse like the rest as well. Don't get so defensive. I'm sure you're more than just some back alley thug with ratty hair and poor hygiene. My, you've got the looks and education of a noble, if your vocabulary is any indication. But you spout obscenities with the viciousness of a common street ruffian. How fascinating. Much more fascinating than that ghastly woman earlier. Certainly. Your insults are so colorful and vivid that I can practically taste the low-born inspiration, but still with just enough grace in presentation to indicate a more distinguished palate. I could very well grow used to you. I wonder what your story is, to fall so far and be locked away at Blackspire for... Your physical bearing holds all the unmistakable signs of a prolonged captivity. Malnutrition, exhaustion, injury, filth, the aforementioned smell, yet the manifestations of your psychological bearing suggest a prowling intellect honed rather than dulled. Your posture remains undaunted, and there's a sinister glint in your eyes that tells me your mind is not only intact, but razor sharp. You cling to enough sanity as to assess the entirety of the room the moment you entered, calculating, weighing, measuring. So I'm going to wager at least 3 years. 3 long, bitter, arduous years at Blackspire. By that look on your face, it appears I'm correct. And now you've switched from mere assessment of the room to strategizing how best to murder us all. How beautifully macabre. Really, though, it's quite obvious, at least to someone with my impeccable talent for reading people. The way your eyes lingered half a beat longer on the exit than on me tells me that you've already mapped your path out of here. The deliberate slowness of your breathing, controlled, measured, fuels a stillness, but it is a stillness of despair. It's patience, lethal, unblinking patience. You're conserving energy in preparation for a possible fight. You slump just enough to appear drained, but not enough to shift your balance. You're not resting, you're coiled. You've made no effort to plead. You're letting me think I'm in charge. But don't misunderstand. I'm always in charge. You want a fight. A distraction, perhaps. And the disparity between your current stone-faced stoicism and the milk-curdling foul language of earlier indicates I'm unraveling your plan bit by bit. You were never here to beg. You're here to bait. How sneaky. You wonderfully duplicitous, sadistic fiend. Those hands aren't tightly fisted in anger or fear. I've seen real fear. This isn't it. Oh, Salen, please remove whatever stolen weapon our guest here has improvised. Perhaps even return it to the poor guard they pilfered it from. I really don't feel like getting blood on my garments today. I'm wearing satin, for goodness sake. Much better. And although I am so very curious as to how you could turn a medallion of honor pin into a weapon of mass destruction to kill us all, I really should get to the point before you brew up another plan that ends with my stunning head on a pike. Yes? You are an elite whose illicit dealings came to light, severing you from your previous life of riches, entitlement, and refined misdeeds. Do you miss it terribly? I mean, it's clearly been some time since you were surrounded by those of gentle breeding. After all, you don't even recognize the elevated station of the one you so rudely insulted just now. Prince Alexander Fontaine of the 7 Solvern-based houses, dashing bachelor extraordinaire, odorous, dazzling, ruffish air, peerless in courtly posing, and irresistible flair at your service. Do mind the paltry lighting, I only sparkle from the left. And the intrigue only grows. So, you knew who I was, and yet you still saw fit to spit at my feet and call me those names? How brazen! How bold! Oh, you'd positively delight the Citadel. You're so entertaining. Like a cute little hissing kitten. Yes, the Citadel. But I seem to be getting ahead of myself. Salen, hand me their intelligence documents, please. My loyal subject, my malodorous little convict. I want to strike a deal with you. Quick to refuse, I see. But you haven't even heard the offer yet. It's clear that you don't harbor much affection for the royal family. But I, for one, think that I could be as much use to you as you could be to me. Wouldn't you like to give me, Alexander Fontaine, most generous of gentry and lover alike, charmer of hearts, granter of clemency, a chance? Oh, did I pique your interest? Well, after you've had a thorough scrub down, perhaps you can meet me in my chambers later tonight and confirm the verity of that first title yourself. Well, at least we can confirm you're not dim. It seems that you and Salen are in agreement on one thing, at least. He insists that my list of accolades grows with every introduction I make. But I, for one, am of the contrary opinion, that there simply aren't enough words in the English lexicon to describe me in all my majesty. Clever! Though I wouldn't say that particular combination of words is representative of my essence. You're just a walking thesaurus for all things unseemly and insulting, now aren't you? That wit will serve you well, especially where you'll be heading. What I'm proposing is a chance for you to earn your freedom. An opportunity filled with possibilities of redemption, honor, glory, and blood. Look who's all courtly smiles now. Though I am suspicious that that gleam in your eye has more to do with the prospect of violence rather than the other virtues I listed. How terrifying. How exhilarating. You are precisely the type of person I've been searching for. Intelligent, attractive, just a tad mad. Allow me to explain. I, Alexander Fontaine, your dutiful sovereign, your saving grace, and singular sun in a sky of lesser stars, am in need of a champion. I'm being sent off to the Bryalos Citadel to represent Alderus' ruling class in an allegedly friendly competition between all of the continent of Aberyst's chosen warriors. Officially, participating nations may only select champions from exclusive lineages, drawn from the highest echelons of society, to ensure that those of esteemed station don't mingle with the common plebeians, of course. But realistically, most delegations are going to bring in the nastiest, most dangerous heathens the country has to offer. And that's where you come in. For, in addition to winning the competition and re-establishing Alderus' place in the global hierarchy as a dominant power, you will be serving as my undercover bodyguard and intel collector, neutralizing all the threats that are certain to come for me, and sifting through any tantalizing bits of information on other countries that can further Alderus' agenda. Your file here says you were brought up under the tutelage of Master Renale herself at the Silent Monastery. Chilling. There are absolutely no records on your activities, save for the ones written in blood. Your background is as shrouded in mystery as whatever grueling trade secret training regimens the monastery employs. What we do know, however, is that the Silent Sentinels are the most elite fighters in all of Aberystwyth, brought up in an equal manner as princes and killers. And what we lack in information on your personal history, we have an abundance of information on your skills. Stealth, infiltration, deception, manipulation, and a host of others. All very intriguing, of course, though I'm particularly interested in how advanced their physical prowess is. But all this means to say is I need someone ruthless enough to tear down my enemies, but also someone with enough refined tact and manners to do so without arousing suspicion, and consequently, punishment from opposing parties. Your experience matches this endeavor perfectly. Excellent question. I suppose most parents wouldn't send their only children off to a viper's nest on a fool's errand for bloody righteous glory, would they? But you see, Daddy Dearest has been in something of a mood lately. He's cross with me for selling state secrets, or sowing seeds of discord amongst the gentry, or turning key international trade federations against him, or something or another. I can never remember them all. He's accused me of everything under the sun, from treason to magically shrinking him. Well, I'm sure you would like to know if any of those are true, wouldn't you? But I only kiss and tell for the price. Unless, that is, you can keep it our little secret. But between you and me, it's awfully easy to trick an insecure monarch if you're being just a bit determined and a lot masochist. It's grueling work to go, day by day, and shave the soles of his shoes and feet off of his throne, as well as increase the heels of his advisors millimeter by millimeter. But thankfully, I'm nothing if not very persistent, and very perverse. In any case, the council is beginning to think him a bit mad, and he's starting to think I'm more trouble than I'm worth. And so he's sending me away to a foreign court and forcing me to enter into a deadly competition on which hinges the very future and fate of our kingdom. All while under the constant threat of murder by assassins sent by his own hand. You know, typical fatherly behavior. But I'm never one to squander such fortuitous circumstance, even if my title and perfect neck are on the line. I always turn around these kinds of things in my favor, and I'm going to use you to achieve that. No, unfortunately, Salem here is not permitted to participate. He is too well known to enter under any sort of disguise, and although he does serve as my honor guard for the most part, he is my cousin, and those within 2 removals of Solvern Bless bloodlines are not allowed to directly compete. Pointless, if you ask me. The Brylos instituted this stipulation to encourage invitees to attend under the pretense of safety and unbroken bloodlines. But that's somewhat contradicted by the little detail that the Citadel will be positively teeming with assassins and hitmen, don't you think? But then that ultimately leaves us with very few options. With Alderus government in such disarray, we can't very well send anyone of actual noble blood to a competition that could potentially end in their death. That would ruin the already thin trust within our governing families and potentially launch another war. We need someone expendable, but preferably capable. Someone as filled with courtly charm as they are bloodlust. We need you. I shouldn't be surprised. Opportunities do bring about the opportunistic, don't they? The reward for winning the tournament on our end is the aforementioned pardoning of your crimes. A hefty sum of gold totaling in a few generations' worth of fortunes, and official titles to land in the outskirts of Aldereth. Very generous, if you ask me. Greedy, greedy. I appreciate the ambition. Indeed, that's a useful trait that will get you far in the Citadel. But I can't say I'm all too fond of this insolence. You really shouldn't bite the hand that feeds you. You just might find that I like to bite back. See, the thing is, my greedy little goblin, my grimy urchin criminal, you don't really have much of a choice. With the crimes in your file, you'll be indentured to the state for life. You have no allies, no money, no influence, and no hope of ever escaping this situation without my help. You need me as well. And yet you still manage to try to bargain. My precious grubby lout. My stabby dungeon gremlin. You're not just lacking in allies, money, and influence. No, you're missing the fundamental component of this negotiation. Do you know what that is? Salen, secure their hands behind their back. Salen, I'd like you to gag our guests now. Salen, I want you to force them down to their knees. Good. Now slit the throat. Wait. Wait. Apologies. Do remove your blade from their vicinity. Salen, I misspoke. I meant now slit their ropes, as in free them from their bindings. Such a silly mistake. You look equal parts frightened and furious. Don't take it personally, my darling, murderous miscreant. It was simply a slip of the tongue. I'm sure in time you'll come to like my tongue slips. I just wanted to make an example. To make one thing painfully clear. What you are lacking in is power. Meanwhile, I am brimming with it. Practically glutting myself on it. And I'm sure you'd like a taste, wouldn't you? Who knows? I might even have you begging for seconds. You could be the most skilled assassin, spy, and silver-tongued thief that ever lived. But none of that matters if you don't have the power to control the situations that enable those talents. Those without power must obey. Understood? Perfect. Do try not to smudge the tile on your way up from scraping and groveling, please. I like to admire my reflection on the polish. You truly have mastered the ability to conceal your wrath and thirst for revenge behind honeyed words and innocent, placating smiles. How very aristocratic of you. Sweet talk me some more, why don't you? Fill me with sugar until I'm sick of it. So, in light of your newly civilized demeanor, and despite your thinly veiled, simmering rage, I can assume we've come to an agreement, correct? Good. I just need one more thing from you. It's no matter to worry about, really. It's just a small thing. I need your body. Lying and complimenting through your tightly clenched teeth. You really are so fun. I'm only kidding, my dearest unkempt demon. I don't want your body. I want the promise of your body. Oh, kidding, really. This is just a formality. I need to make a sworn scent oath with you. If you complete all the tasks laid out before you, by the sovereign-blessed blood that runs in my veins, I will be magically obligated to uphold my end of the deal. If you can't, you are to be my servant for the rest of your days. A fair trade-off, I think. At least you won't be stuck toiling away at Blackspire any longer. Do you assent? Cunning, cute, and confident. You truly are a champion among champions, aren't you? Hold out your hand. I, Alexander Fontaine of Aldereth, rising dawn of Solvern, summoner of... Oh. Well. Mysteries upon mysteries. It seems you already have the crest of Sovereign House etched onto your soul. Are you trying to fool us all, you dirty, devious devil? You didn't know. And you're not lying. That much I can tell. Well, this investment has proven to be quite the gamble, isn't it? Do you know what that crest on your soul means, champion? That's right. It means you're already bound in the service of a different ruling sovereign blessed house. And yet you haven't the faintest clue as to the terms of your contract nor the identity of the family. It's no matter. I've always been a high roller, and you seem quite worth the risk. We shall proceed with the deal, however, without the insurance of an oath. But let me make one thing clear, my homicidal hellraiser. Many see me as just another petty, pampered, spoiled, devastatingly gorgeous prince. I don't much mind. It's so very easy to be underhanded when underestimated. And there is, after all, truth to those statements. But the thing about being spoiled and pampered is, I always get what I want. And once I do, it belongs to me. Permanently. And if anyone attempts to wriggle out of my grasp, I've been known to break my toys every once in a while when they've become of no use to me. You'll find, champion, that petty and vengeful are two sides of the same violent, privileged coin. Let's hope you never come to understand the true differences between them. Honor your end of the deal, and I'll honor mine. It really is that simple. Deal? Excellent. We'll have the paperwork for your forged identity made post-haste. We leave in 2 weeks. Plenty of time for you to regain your bearings, have a couple of hot meals, and change out of those godforsaken rags. I suppose this means you're noble now, doesn't it? Only a name, of course, but still. I dub thee Scion Gravendale of Aldereth, with grave being homage to the fates of all enemies who may cross your path, as well as your own future, should you disappoint me. Welcome to the court. I'd bow, but my tailor warned me that the stitching might not survive such passion. Oh, good one. Were you able to hear mine and Salen's conversation through the door earlier? You're probably right. If I introduce myself as typical gentry do, my crown might just fall off my head as a result of my limited cranial real estate. It's a good thing, then, that I bow to no one. Now, could you please go take a bath?